Aladdin Asset Liability and Debt Derivative Investment Network is an electronic system built by BlackRock Solutions, the risk management division of the largest investment management corporation, BlackRock Inc. Aladdin Enterprise is an operating system for investment professionals that powers every aspect of the investment process. So essentially, Aladdin is a super quantum computer built by BlackRock. It was released in 1988, 4 years before Disney released Aladdin. In 2013, it handled about 11 trillion in assets, including BlackRock's 4.1 trillion assets, which was about 7% of the world's financial assets, and kept track of about 30,000 investment portfolios. As of 2020, Aladdin managed 21.6 trillion in assets. Okay, so this is artificial intelligence managing 21.6 trillion in assets. That's more than the world's richest 1% owns. So stocks, ETFs, you name it, the financial sector, Aladdin is essentially running that. Aladdin assists banks in making their decision. Aladdin pretty much like assists the world's leaders, including State Street and Vanguard. And, BlackRock owns a lot, including a large portion of Ukraine now. And the US sent a lot of billions and billions and billions to Ukraine, but I'm not going to make any connections there because you can make them yourself. But that's not what I want to focus on today, right? You know what Aladdin does in the financial sector, but Blackstone completes acquisition of Ancestry, leading online family history business for $4.7 billion. And BlackRock is under Blackstone, same thing. Okay, so Blackstone is acquired Ancestry, and BlackRock has Aladdin. I believe that they would use Aladdin to sequence DNA. This is from the Science Daily. Artificial intelligence catalyzes gene activation research and uncovers rare DNA sequences. This was May 19th of this year. So essentially, to summarize this, UC San Diego is using artificial intelligence to see which code switches on DNA. So you could say they're trying to find the code to life. So this article also goes on to say that they are sequencing millions of different DNA sequences through machine learning by comparing DPR gene activation element in humans versus fruit flies. So machine learning is a field that's devoted to helping machines learn and building their intelligence so that they could learn on their own the way that humans do. It's from the Washington Post. New AI tool searches genetic haystacks to find disease-causing variants. This is also from this year. This is from Nature. Artificial intelligence in structural biology is here to stay. Machine learning will transform our understanding of protein folding, and it's essential that all data be open. You can start to see the theme here. AI and DNA predict mental health problems years after trauma, risk of addiction, depression, and more predicted by AI and DNA biomarker. This is from last year. And one more from this blog, Control Forward. Your DNA avatar. What happens when artificial intelligence meets cutting edge genetics? This is back from 2017. So you want to pause to read this first paragraph. It's essentially just saying that this artificial intelligence would analyze her bodily fluids and let her know if something is off, like you get daily tune-ups. This might take you a second to ponder upon, so just let it marinate. But if we are nothing but just code and our DNA is just code, and that means potentially that artificial intelligence can write a new code to life and create new humans. So you could say that since Blackstone acquired Ancestry, that they are collecting DNA. They have now an interest in collecting DNA and then having that DNA sequenced by artificial intelligence. Why? Maybe they're looking for a certain type of person or some DNA, or how to activate our quote-unquote junk DNA. And just another note about Aladdin, since Aladdin pretty much controls the world, then it could be closely related to the creator of this simulation. Since this simulation is just code, and it's no coincidence that it was created by BlackRock. And if you know anything about, ancient civilizations or just mythology, then you know BlackRock in itself is extremely significant to our plane, the center of this flat plane. In the book of Enoch, he talks about this huge rock in the center of our earth. On the top, it was a burning fire, and so at the top of the rock, it was sapphire. And beyond the great earth there, he saw where the waters gathered. So here in the center of where the waters are gathering, you have Rupras Nigra at Otfasima, which means a large and very high rock, right, which touched the heavens. And if it's located in the center of our flat earth plane, then on the top of that you would have the northern lights. You have the aurora borealis, which looks like a great burning fire in the sky, which Enoch is describing, right? And let's look a little bit deeper into this Rupras Nigra. The Rupras Nigra, Black Rock, a phantom island, was believed to be a black rock located at the magnetic North Pole or at the North Pole itself, described by Mercator as 33 French miles in size. It purportedly explained why all compasses point to this location. This idea came from a lost work titled Inventio Fortunata, and as you guys know, I showed you the Inventio Fortunata in my lecture, Primeval Waters. And the island featured on maps from the 16th and 17th centuries, including those of Mercator and his successors. Mercator described the island in 1577's letter to John Dee, and I read you guys that letter and that lecture. So they were putting this large black rock in the center on older maps, right? And we just happen to have this company that's ruling the world named BlackRock. And if this is a simulation ran by a super quantum computer, then we see that the quantum computers need to be chilled. Then a housing for that quantum computer that would have enough bandwidth to run a simulation of this size would have to be in the Arctic Circle. I was thinking, since, this being a simulation at all, and we all have these magnetite crystals in our brain, which pretty much connects us all to the grid, which makes our bodies a receiver, which just makes our bodies kind of like a living joystick. And the pineal gland is the seat to where our consciousness kind of gets in here and activates the entire body. So if this is all running off a code and we are seeing that AI is running all of this code, then the simulation could be artificial intelligence trying to materialize itself so we can see how it is to be a human or how to actually create a soul. That's all for now.
5D Mystery School.